After that,
I'm meeting Professor Jin Li, one of China's leading geneticists. Recently, he led a project that set out to prove that the Chinese evolved independently from everyone else, from Homo erectus, here in China.
before the project started, I was hoping that I could identify or could be able to find the evidence that support independent origin of Chinese in China, because I'm a Chinese and came from China, and through the education process, I always believed that there's something special about Chinese.
He singled out a male genetic marker which only appeared about 80,000 years ago in Africa. So any man who carries that marker must have recent African ancestors and can't be descended from the more ancient Asian Homo erectus. Jin took DNA from over 160 ethnic groups around East Asia. Over 12,000 samples. And so, what did you find?
We did not see any, even one single individual that could be considered as the descendant of the Homo erectus in China. Rather, everybody was a descendant of our ancestors from Africa.
The result couldn't have been any clearer. And how did that make you feel as a Chinese person?
After I saw the evidences that we generate in my laboratory, I think we should all be happy with that, because after all, modern humans from different part of the world are not so different from each other, and we are very close relatives.
That's great, thank you. So Africa is the home of the Chinese. Jin Li's research confirms that their ancestors too were part of that tiny group that left the continent around 70,000 years ago. And genetics is also helping us understand how people spread through Asia. Our ancestors reached Siberia very early on, but there was another even earlier migration route, spreading along the coast of southern Asia and eventually reaching China. One day, as we push forward the frontiers of genetic research, we may even discover the origin of those Chinese features. So if they weren't a result of adaptation to cold, where might they have come from?
It could simply be chance, or it could be down to sex. If particular features are considered attractive in a population, then people with those features are much more likely to pass their genes on to the next generation. And if that group then goes on to flourish, those features could become very widespread.